Hello, hello. What is up? Welcome to my video. What is this video, you might be wondering? Well, I'm trying something. My name is Ryan. I am a game design student at DigiPen Institute of Technology, a senior game design student. So, almost there. Almost got that degree. And yeah, I'm making a game right now, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of time to make a little vlog about it, cause I just kind of want to show it off to the world, show off some of that design process. So I didn't know where to start this off, so I just started off on my about page on my portfolio, but we're going into Unity. This minimize. Hey, there we are. So I've been working on this game for a little while. It's about since August, so it's been about 2 months. And let's just get right into it. I'm gonna hit play, maximize, start us off on the main menu, and I'll just kind of talk about it as I go. Some of my thoughts for it. I know it's probably a little bit loud. So here's my options menu. Running through my audio manager called Bad Audio Manager because I didn't think I'd reuse it for every project after I made it. Just got some nice little highlighted buttons. Playing with Unity's UI canvas system. I might make a separate video kind of talking about my own personal preferences for like UI implementation in Unity. I am kind of the Unity guy. That's what I'm chilling in. So my game's called Binary Dreams. Title pending. I'm not really married to it. Gotta sip my coffee. I'm not really married to the title. It might change. I don't hate it, but I think it could be better. So I've got loading in. However, hilariously enough, at this date, as of 10/15/2020, I can save games pretty well, but I haven't really written the functionality for loading. It shouldn't be very hard. It should be a very quick thing, but I can't really show that off. There's a little screen. This is just sort of the base. See, you haven't played yet. What a bummer. I'm personally bummed out by people that haven't played my game. So let's go ahead and make a new game. Now this is hilarious. I made the game for I originally made the game not even like really thinking about controller input, and this is really on me. And so I have this like little typing in thing because my saving system was taken from a previous project that was totally mouse and keyboard. So I have a typing in name entry for like a file name, but I'm making this is a platformer, as you will soon see, and those are best played with controllers, so I definitely need to get a little virtual keyboard going on. So I'm just gonna be like RIP controllers. That'll be my file name. I accept. Alright. Yeah. That first line's way too quick. I'm definitely gonna need to slow that out. This is all just an animation. I know it's pretty jank just running it in the editor. I could have made a build, but if I'm going to be dev vlogging, I might as well just show off my editor. Yeah, there's a little bit of a text bug too that I need to sort out with how that displays, because it kind of, for very briefly, shows the whole string before writing it. And that might be an asset I'm using, so I might need to just tear that out. So here we are in this introductory dream sequence. It's kind of serving as my first act. So I did most of this art. I did all the art in this scene. I'm using some shader graph stuff right in here. Dissolve shader. I found a tutorial online. Maybe I'll link it. It was a pretty nice tutorial. Taught me how to make a dissolve shader in shader graph. It might be a little bit stuttery just since it's in the editor. It's running like Profiler in the background. You know how it is. Trying to kill my frame rate. So we got a little character right here, running with my little dialogue system. I'm definitely gonna make a separate video about that. That thing is beefy. I'm pretty proud of it. I'm working on it for about a year. Yeah, you hear that error sound? I might be a little bit too ambitious trying to just screech at the player like that, but go big or go home. Gotta try some crazy shit sometimes. So this guy's asking me if I knew that I could hold the space bar. Having made the game, I do in fact know that, so since it's a platformer, pretty standard platformer behavior is you can hold the spacebar, or jump button rather, jump higher. Of course, that text that says spacebar, I'm gonna have it change based on whatever input you're using. So if you're controlling the game with a gamepad, be that a PS4 or an Xbox controller, because that's what I'm supporting, just keeping it simple. It'll update the controls with the relevant buttons. I don't think I'm going to do control remapping. This is a solo project. God, I feel like this is so loud. Hold the phone on me. I do love my music. I didn't make it, of course, but I do adore it. But I'm going to turn it down for a moment. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, I'll write some code to update that text based on your controller. Also, given that this is a platformer, I got a little bit of coyote time running. See, I'm technically off of the platform when I jump, but there's a very brief window of time where you're allowed to jump. You know, standard platformer convention, but I thought I'd point it out because, I spent the time to make it. So this is a ghostly apparition of a pretty important character in my game named Kevin, spelled K3V1N. Kevin here, my good buddy, is actually like 3 robots. You may have noticed, but all of my characters are robots. This guy is particularly angry. His main character trait is pissed off. But you know, I just enjoy writing that, I guess. You know, these are trying times we're living in, so it's a good way to just get that aggression out. Who knows what it'll look like in the final production, but I do like the angry. So you jump down here. You're basically looking for a wire. You're in this like dream sequence, which is you in like shutdown mode. So you need to reboot yourself. There's a little terminal here that I drew based off of a Google image of what I saw when I typed in terminal reference. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks pretty cool. If you interact with it, nothing happens, and that's intentional. Believe me. So we got another ghostly apparition of a main character. And the fact that the main characters are appearing in this introductory sequence is actually kind of a product of my poor narrative planning. So, hilariously, I kind of just started making the game in the second act, so in a scene that's going to be following this one. And I had no idea what I was making. I didn't know what was going on. And I sat down with a professor that I've worked with before in the past, and I was like, man, I need to hammer down this narrative. And we were kind of talking about like a 3-act narrative structure, and obviously in that first act, pretty much immediately you need to introduce like your main cast. And I was just like, I didn't have a plan for that, because my first act is like you're in like a dream, so how would the main cast really make an appearance? So I was like, well, I could just have kind of memories and kind of the subconscious or kind of reoccurring themes in this game, or at least I'd like to make them. Of course, the game is still in production, but the plan is to have those being reoccurring themes. So I thought, well, why not just kind of have like a memory, like imprint of all these characters appear, and then when you meet them for real, like in the game later, you know, the player's like, oh, it's you. But of course, they're not going to appear like ghostly apparitions. They're going to have a little bit more character detail and stuff. Kevin especially. So you can, oh yeah, there's dialogue options. I'm using 1 and 2. It does work with the controller. It uses the D-pad. Left input is 1, up on the D-pad is 2, right on the D-pad is 3. Yeah, I wish that I had planned for that when I wrote how it appears on the UI, because they're all going to be just in a descending order in a column, which not a great signifier for like left, up, and right on a D-pad. It would have been a much better idea to do kind of more like the Telltale, like Walking Dead style. One's on the left, one's a little bit raised, and one's on the right. But I wasn't really planning ahead for how it would feel with controller input when I was originally making it, and that was definitely my bad. And there really just isn't enough production time to really change that. Possibly if I get time at the end, but you know, making an entire game by yourself in one semester between in one of 6 classes, you know, it gets to be a little kind of a lot. So right here we're tutorializing the sprint button, and I've got my beautiful sheep. I am Very proud of my sheep, my robot sheep. It's, I don't know, it sounded, I don't know why that shader does that. Sometimes, I don't know, it just looks smaller, like more grainy than it should. Regardless, these sheep are my very literalist interpretation of the classic Philip K. Dick novel, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? So these are my electric sheep. So you're sprinting and chasing them and pressing E to interact, and you're getting all this crap. And right here is the wire. The fourth one has a spare saw blade. So if I press escape, it opens up my main menu and I can go to my inventory. And maybe I should have boilerplate, not just a description, but polish. So these are the four things that I picked up, just sort of dynamically loaded. Scrolling is a thing, but obviously there's nowhere to really scroll. So if you click these, it kind of updates the description. Spatula, are you ready? SpongeBob reference. Love that show. Spare wire used to reboot yourself, found on a sheep, obviously. And then a saw blade. It's rather concerning, I felt, that a sheep had a saw blade. And I should note, I should add the icons in here. Why did I forget the icons? That's an easy fix. The icons are stored on a very, just sort of this floating script that just contains a reference to every item in the game that exists. And it has, it has their name, it has an icon, and it has their description. I did not draw the icons. The icons are from a asset pack I got from Humble Bundle. Very good purchase. Humble Bundle, all your asset needs. Absolutely fabulous. If there are any students out there that are as broke as me, it's a very good option. My coffee's getting cold. What a struggle. Anyways, this is a very rambly blog, so forgive me, but we're going to persist. So you can go ahead and talk to this guy. He's like just kind of roasting you, with your stubby legs. Kind of gives you a hint of how to get out, and teaches you the kick mechanic. So right now in the game, you can barely see it on this background, but you kick. I animated all this. I drew all this. This is my art, and I'm not saying that to be like trying to flex, but that's why it looks the way it does. Is because I'm kind of spread a little bit thin, but you can give this a good old kick, and it opens a portal. Why does the console open a portal? That's the beauty of a dream sequence. It's because it's in a dream. Just a beautiful little conceit. So let's go ahead and talk to this guy again. He's very impressed that we got the button, and now I can whoosh, big old camera thing. It's using a pterodactyl sound effect. But if I can jump down here, this is a part of my game I'm a little bit iffy about. I think it's pretty epic. There's some pretty awesome music going on in the background, but I have it turned down very low, so you can probably barely hear it. But all these platforms are just flying up, and there's not really a massive point to this part. There's other parts that happen, but it's a little bit buggy. But when you touch that red thing, it kind of sends you into the next scene. There's no audio yet for this UI animation, and it's playing this freaking sound effect I have on the lights, and you're too damn close to it, so it's super loud, and I need to... Audio mixing is a constant struggle. I made it a little bit better recently, so good thing I didn't make this video like a week ago. Go ahead and talk to this guy. So this kind of introductory part, I'm going to change a little bit. That Kevin character that made an appearance in a dream is actually going to be a... this needs to be turned down a little bit. Oh no. Oh, I think that audio might be on these lights. I was wondering why that was so loud. But anyways, that Kevin character is kind of the one that gives you your main mission. So this is a short little puzzle. Technically, you can press this middle one and open them up, but barring that, I think most players will probably press this first lever immediately, which kind of puts you into that. I think that's the path most players will do to finish that, but you can't just press the middle one. So you got this other character. Notice that his pupils are squares. That's very important. He's very impressed that I made it through that door. Wants to give me a prize, but doesn't know what he has. And currently there's nothing I want, so it just sort of exits the dialogue. This Jedi is just sort of pretty environment. And this is a character that kind of gives you a slight amount of backstory as to where we are. We are in the hole. Yeah, there's definitely some innuendos there, which I'm not necessarily averse to. I find it personally rather hilarious, but I'm not married to that name either. It's definitely supposed to evoke kind of feelings of like hell, like this is just like a shithole. But here's where we're at. So here's this console. It's always really funny to me. So what's playing in the background is actually technically my homework from my freshman year of at DigiPen. It's a CS assignment, scaled very small down so you can't read it, and just animated. It's called Jumble.see. I think it jumbled. I don't remember what it did. Yeah, there's a little shader on this face too, and God, it was kind of a pain to get this to actually play while paused, because shader graph don't by default have access to like unscaled time. But I had to write a little wrapper to make that possible, and you know, it worked. So over here we got some hinged platforms, which you know, fun little thing, just kind of using Unity's hinge. And we got another little smoke. Oh yeah, these particles aren't me either. I got those from Kenny Assets. Shout out. I think those are from Kenny. I don't remember. Oh yeah, my beautiful music written with loops in Mixcraft. So here we go with this character is called Armani. Not spelled like the fashion brand, but it is supposed to make you think of that. It's spelled R-M0NI. Which I'm only mentioning because they don't really introduce themselves, and I do say they because androids don't have gender. It's a human thing. I'm standing by that. Anyways, so this is supposed to teach you the character customization, and I have customizable characters. However, I have nothing unlocked, and ignore the disgusting names. Oh, the color's gonna be. I have a color picker asset. I just need to put it in there. It'll change like the base color. So currently it's gray. I've got all these pupils. However, in my explanations, I forgot to actually pick up the first pupil that you used to teach this. So, and oh god, why did it? Well, we have all discovered a bug together. Apparently, it breaks my eyes. You know what? Let's actually just go ahead and take a look. I might just cut this part out, but I want to know. I want to know what's going on. Why are my eyes the way they are? One of the frames is just missing. Oh shit, I stopped it. Alright, well I'm going to cut the recording now. I might go ahead and get back over there so that I can continue this. Alright, well hello again. Following the end of the last little section, so what you saw about 10 seconds ago, I was kind of looking into why my eyes were bugging out the way they were, and I decided that I'm just going to cut customization of like the eye shape in general, because I feel like there's just a lot of kind of bullshit involved with it, since the pupil objects are children of the eyes. You always have to like reset the pupils every time you change the eye shapes, and I kind of don't even feel like drawing new eye shapes at this point, given that I have such a limited production schedule. And also for every eye shape I make, I have to make a new blink animation for every single one, which like it's not like horribly difficult, especially because for it would be 3 frames. The first frame would just be the eye shape itself. Second frame is like eyelid half closed, which you draw a line and, you know, color in the top half, and then the third one I can just reuse this kind of thing. But it's just kind of a pain, and I think there's better uses of my time, so I think that's just gonna get cut in general. And since I'm the solo developer of this game, I can make the executive decision to cut anything I want at any time that I please. So that is definitely a huge advantage. So I also kind of fixed the screeching electricity audio by just tearing it out of the game. You know, there's plenty of other opportunities for ambience. I don't need to just have some annoying buzz just constantly happening. So after you talk to that console, you can talk to this guy with the square eyes. Like, remember I said he was important. You can request his eyes. He sees, and he actually drops his eyes right there. I don't know why it gave me 3 of them. That's a bug. You know, we'll figure it out. But functionally, it's not, getting 3 of them doesn't matter because it's not like items really have quantities in my game. So we're gonna go back up to Armani, and it doesn't play this introductory dialogue every single time. It's just playing it again because I restarted and I didn't go talk to Armani first. So it's just playing it again. But now we can go into our customization and be careful not to press eyes because apparently that breaks my sprint. And now I can select square. Well, what I'm gonna do very soon is, if you don't have the pupil unlocked, I'm not going to display it. I was kind of just doing that for debug purposes, and I just haven't really removed it. You know how it is. But now I've got square pupils, so that's fun. I don't have the audio shifting back, so we're just going to listen to this cool funk music until I have another audio change, which is coming up soon. So now I can go back to this console, and I am permitted to enter. Oop. Ignore that circle. Alright, so we got a little typing, and this is, it makes no sense in the current context, but there's going to be a small dialogue at the introduction of this act that gives us a little bit more context. He's going to be talking to you over like an intercom, screaming, "Hey, get your ass up here." So this is definitely so far my longest dialogue sequence, and these boxes are a little goof. See how he's actually 3 robots in one body, and so this one is supposed to reflect that one of these 2 is talking. It's supposed to position itself accordingly, but I haven't written the. I have the ability to change where it displays. I just haven't written the functions, or not even written. I've written the functions. I just haven't called the functions that change its position mid dialogue because. It's a little bit tedious with my implementation. It's not like hard, it's just a little bit tedious. This is the first time I've like loaded in dialogue from like XML files, and I'm calling functions based on values within those XML files, and it's like this whole thing. Very great learning experience, and I'll go over it more in the video where I talk about my dialogue implementation. So he's introducing himself. So even though this dialog box is here, it looks like this guy's talking. This is actually his torso. That's K3V2N. And K3V3N is the legs. Technically, K3V1N is just the head, but he's sort of in control of everybody else. I'm just sort of blitzing through this dialogue, so I'm sorry if you're trying to read it. You can always pause, but I'm trying to get this, wrapped up in a reasonable time frame. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this narratively. I'm definitely gonna have to go over this with professors. This is a new thing, so I'm having the objective location be heaven because I'm a huge Shin Megami Tensei stan, and I just want spiritualism and like kind of sci-fi technology and everything that I make. But of course, because I'm making this as like a student project, that might not go over very well. That's definitely something I'm gonna have to be very careful about, and probably gonna have to enter into like discussions with professors about. I can always change the name. I was thinking of calling it Neva, which is just an anagram of heaven. And I don't know. It's definitely a lot of symbolism that I grew up with, having grown up in like the Bible Belt. It's just sort of a narrative thing that I always go to. I always tend to think of a lot of kind of Christian themes, since that's just what I grew up with as the culture that I lived the majority of my life in. So that's the experience that I draw on for games, but I understand that a lot of people get a little iffy and a little bit uncomfortable with that. And I'm definitely not averse to making people uncomfortable, but this is again a student project, and I am averse to getting shit grades. So let's just ask what heaven is. At the top of the barren city, heaven awaits, and we need to deliver something there. What kind of something? None of our business. Yeah, I'm gonna change some of these dialogue boxes. I love the animated when it gets like angry. I want a much calmer one instead of switching back to the like bubbles dialogue. I don't think the bubbles fits him. Yeah, I have the ability with my implementation to change the dialogue box on a sentence by sentence basis, which I thought was a little cool thing that I do. Um, Alright, so he presses that button, and there's no animation here, but I'm gonna create a camera pan. Oh, damn! It didn't play the next dialogue. Well, I'll show you what should have happened because we're basically reaching the end of what I've actually made. Oh, so it did activate this platform. He's supposed to give you a package, which if I press P, it'll give it to me, a mysterious package. And if I go into my inventory, it's there. The stuff from the previous scene is not there because I just started from this scene. But in my final production, those items won't be there anyway, since I'll just remove them when you transition scenes. So, oh, the helm of the ship. Originally, my setting was actually on a boat, kind of like in a Waterworld-esque setting, where there's just been an environmental collapse, and the sea levels had risen to the point where everything was underwater. Oh, and ignore my gaudy volumetric lighting. Oh, these actually look super ugly. But not, yeah. So I'm using an asset pack that definitely is, I have to blow it up quite a bit in order for it to be used in my game. What I might do is actually trace over it myself so that I can at least give it my own sort of artistic spin without, of course, with credit to the original artist, because tracing is like fake art. But obviously in the current state, look how blurry that is, because like the original image is just so small. And I paid for it, so I feel like I should be allowed to at least trace over it to make it look in my style. I love how a lot of the parts of it looked. And this gaudy volumetric light is just because I wanted to see what a big, giant pink volumetric light would look like. Yeah, this is the bottom of the barren city. These are the buildings blown up in very low resolution. And you're basically going to be climbing up all of these buildings, which will bring you into the third act of the game, where you meet sort of the God Emperor of this world, which is who you're delivering the package to, and conspiracies will arise and events will unfold. And that's pretty much what I've got so far in my project. That's kind of my overview. I might make some more vlogs about like sort of more specific things. As you can see, there's a couple of bugs going on. I believe these have to do with the customization menu, just a null reference. So yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna cut it off for today. So thanks for coming out and hanging out and watching this long ass video. Please hire me. I'm a broke student and I want to make video games. It's like my passion. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm trained for. Yeah. All right. Peace.